Hey guys, um, I made a comment in one of my recent videos that I had made some good progress on a player run I've been working on. It was one of the things that I have been wanting to do for a while. I've been wanting to work on just some other players that just interested me or fascinated me, and well, you can probably tell from the title of the video that the player's Manny Sanguillen. Manny Sanguillen played for the Pirates in the late 60s through the 70s, except for 1 year, and then a couple years into the early 80s. Quite a good player, three-time All-Star. Not a Hall of Famer by any means, but just a really good guy. So let's start out with showing you his rookie card. I know some people don't like the 68 set, but my goodness, I love that card. Um, I enjoy the catcher's gear, of course. That's part of it. And when I think of the 68 set, well, I tend to think of Bob Gibson first, just because that's the turn back the clock card. But then I think about the Sanguillen, and I love what it says on the back. I won't read you the whole thing, but if you look at that last sentence, it says, "The Pirates are very high on this youngster and believe he'll be a familiar sight at Forbes Field for years to come." Sanguillen didn't actually play baseball until he was 20. He's from Panama, and someone was in Panama and was asked him to play baseball, told him he looked like Willie Mays, and Manny Sanguillen said, "Who?" Did not know who that was. But anyway, he's 20 years old when he starts playing baseball, and turns out he's pretty good. You know, there's his 69, a little off center. That's all right. We'll try to make up for it with his 70. It turns out he was a pretty good catcher. He had a good arm. He had a good bat. Was quite a good hitter, and he wasn't at first, and then Clemente kind of took him under his wing. But somebody asked him one time. I was listening to an interview, and someone was asking him, why he swung. He's kind of known for swinging at everything. So, why do you say? He said, "Well, I didn't start playing until I was 20 years old. You know, he had time to make up for it." He kind of said it with a laugh, but and here's a 71. Uh, this is one of those famous action shots from the 71 set, right? I jokingly said that on a comment on somebody else's video that signing something that counts as action, right? I like that 71. Of course, I like the 71 set anyway. It's the year the Pirates won the Super Bowl. Manny Sanguillen was part of that squad, a big part of that, really. Then here's a 72 card. I enjoy that quite a bit as well. Of course, it was in 1972 that Clemente hit his 3,000th hit, and he and Sanguillen were friends. Clemente really helped him acclimate to life. He didn't speak English hardly at all, really at all, when he first came over to the United States, and Clemente helped him with that. Um, and when Clemente hit his 3,000th hit, some of you may know, but Sanguillen is the guy who hit him home in that game. And that may not seem significant, but it was to him. Again, I was watching an interview with Sanguillen, and he was talking about that, and you could see in his face, and you could hear in his voice just the pride that he was the one who hit Clemente home. So that's a pretty cool story, I think. Just the fact that he was able to do that and have such a big part of Sanguillen's life. You probably know. Well, I'm sure you know that Clemente didn't make it to the next year, the 73. He died in the tragic plane accident. Sanguillen was supposed to be on that plane with him, but he lost his keys and couldn't make it, and he was crushed. And when the plane exploded and they were unable to immediately find Clemente's body, Sanguillen went swimming. He went and swam, and they said there were sharks in the water and everything, and he just swam all night. And of course, they never recovered Clemente's body, but that really bothered him. But here's Sanguillen in a 74 card. I like that one as well. This may bother some of you, but I'm going to put it that way because I'm about to cover it up anyway. This is the 75. I like this just kind of looking off into the distance. It's kind of funny. The hardest card that I had to find was actually the 76. That when I was looking for them, I'm not sure why the 76 was so much harder than all the rest, but kind of a dinged up copy. Um, but uh, but I like that card anyway. It's a nice looking card of Sanguillen. And here is the unfortunate card with the A's. Actually, he has two cards where he's playing for the A's, the Athletics, but he doesn't play for them 2 years. He just plays for them in 77. He was traded to them for a manager, which I'm really not sure how often that was done, but it can't seem like it was a very normal thing. Here's a 79. Look at the grin on that face. I love this card of Sanguillen. You can just see how happy he is. Of course, they won another World Series in 79. He wasn't quite as involved in that one. If you look at the stats, I'll show you on the 80 card. If you look at the stats on the 80 card, you can see he played a lot less games. In the 1971 season, he played 138 games. In the 1979, he played 56. So significantly less, but still, this is why one of the reasons I love Sanguillen. Look at that smile on his face. He's just so happy, He just thrilled to be playing. I'm sure he was thrilled to be back with the Pirates. Let's cover up that A's card. We don't want to see that anymore. And there's his 81. Again, very happy guy, and so that's his entire Topps run. That's 68 through 82. I do have a few of his other cards, just to kind of show you that he was a good bat. Here he is from 1975. Well, this is a 1976 card, but from the 1975 season, the batting leaders with Bill Madlock, which is interesting. Of course, then Ted Simmons on that card as well. So if you were worried you weren't going to see a Hall of Famer, there you go. And here, to go back a few more years to a 71. Boy, doesn't want to focus in on that card. Doesn't want to focus in on Sanguillen. There we go. Of course, there he is with Rico Cardi and Joe Torre, batting leaders for 1971. But one more card, and then I'll shut up about old Sanguillen. But here he is on top of the world. This is my goodness, it doesn't want to focus. I'm going to just keep trying, though. That's the 1972 card from the 1971 World Series, where Sanguillen is obviously just pumped to have just won the World Series with those Pirates. 1971. It shows some of the stats on the back. I'm sure we're not going to read these, but you can see he did quite well. He didn't, he of course didn't hold up to Clemente's numbers, but he did bat quite well. Did quite well in that World Series, and just a joyful guy. I love his cards. I love his story. This has been one of the things I've enjoyed as I've been learning kind of the history of the game, and especially the history of the Pirates. Some of these players that have made great impacts. People outside of the Pirates probably don't know as much about him, but those of us who are Pirates fans and enjoy Pirates history will know quite a bit more. So this is I finished the Topps run, and I'm actually going to make this part of my goal as I continue my Hall of Fame binder, and I'm looking for some of the bigger names there, to sort of keep my hobby collecting going. I'm gonna probably be looking for, well, I am going to be looking for, this will be my other thing, going to be looking for some of the I guess the oddball, Mangini hates it when people call it that, but some cards outside of the Topps base set, that are some of Sanguillen's cards. He has quite a few of them, obviously not as many as if he were a Hall of Famer, but he does have quite a few, so that'll be my next goal. Hopefully I'll be able to show you some of those as time goes on, but well, I'll end this here, and thanks for watching. If you've made it this far, appreciate it, and I hope you have a good rest of your day.